Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Shakespeare Shakedown, a series where we dive into some of William Shakespeare's greatest works. Today we'll be taking a look at the tragic hero Macbeth. We will mostly be focusing on his overconfidence in the witches and apparitions' predictions and the consequences he faced due to this. We will begin by viewing a reenactment of an excerpt from Act 4, Scene 1 of the play. By the prickings of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks. How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is it you do? A deed without a name. I conjure you by that which you profess, whoever you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles topple on the warrior's head, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, though the treasure of nature's germs tumble altogether, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you. Speak. Demand. We'll answer. Say if thou'd rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters. Call them, let me see them. Pour in soul's blood that hath eaten her 9 Pharaoh, grease that sweetened from the murderer's gibbet throw into the flame. Come high, come low, thyself in office deftly show. Tell me, thou unknown power. He knows thy thought, hear his speech, but say thou not. Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife, dismiss me, enough. Whatever thou art, for thy good caution thanks, thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more. He will not be commanded, here's another, more potent than the first. Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee. Be bloody bold and resolute, laugh to scorn the power of men, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth. Then live, Macduff, what need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take upon a fate, thou shalt not live. Then I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the rounded top of sovereignty? Listen, but speak not to it. Be lying mettled, proud, and take no care, who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, until great Burnham wood to high Dunesane hill shall come against him. That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix its earthbound root? Sweet bodements, good! Rebellion's head rise never to the wood of Burnham rise, and our high place Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me if you art can tell so much. Shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom? Seek to know no more. I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know. Why sinks that cauldron? And what noise is this? Show. 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 Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart. Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crown does sear my eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first. A third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth? Start eyes! What will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet, a 7th? I'll see no more, and yet the 8th appears, who bears a glass, which shows me many more. In some I see the twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me, and points at them for his. Aye, sir, all this is so, but why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites, and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound, while you perform your antic round. The great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay. This specific scene is quite important to the play as a whole, due to the predictions given to Macbeth by the witches and apparitions. Let's take a deeper look at all of these predictions. The first prediction is told to Macbeth by an armed head in line 81. It reads, Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife, dismiss me, enough. Macbeth came to the witches for advice in this scene. Therefore, he likely already had some suspicions that people may be figuring his acts, and may soon turn against him. Immediately upon asking the witches for advice, he receives this prediction, and his concerns about Macduff are confirmed. Not only does this apparition's words foreshadow Macbeth's future, but its appearance does also. The apparition is described as an armed head.
The armor foreshadows that there will be a fight between Macbeth and Macduff, while the head with no body foreshadows that Macbeth will be beheaded. The second prediction is told to Macbeth by a bloody child in line 90. It reads, "Be bloody bold and resolute, laugh to scorn the power of men, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth." Upon hearing this prediction, Macbeth becomes cheerful and confident. This is because Macbeth believes that he cannot be killed by anyone on earth. After all, everyone on earth is of woman born. Therefore, he believes that his reign over Scotland will be long and his life will end of natural causes. The issue is, Macbeth puts all of his confidence into this prediction, but he appears to completely disregard the message of the first apparition. He even states that he does not fear Macduff, despite being told to beware him a few minutes prior. This overconfidence will ultimately be the end of Macbeth. This apparition's form again foreshadows the future of Macbeth. The bloody child represents how Macduff would have looked after being ripped from his mother's womb, technically making him not of woman born. Macbeth does not know this, so he underestimates Macduff, which proves to be a fatal mistake. The third and last prediction was given to Macbeth by a crowned child with a tree in his hand. The prediction reads, "Be lion-mettled proud, and take no care, who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, until great Birnam wood to high Dunesane hill shall come against him." This prediction would again bring great comfort and reassurance to Macbeth. Macbeth would likely think it is impossible for Birnam wood, a forest, to come to his castle at Dunesane. Much like the prediction that Macbeth cannot be killed by one of woman born, this prediction allows Macbeth to think that he will not be overthrown and his days as king will be long. Shakespeare again foreshadows the end of the play through this apparition's form. The child with the crown foreshadows King Duncan's son and the rightful king of Scotland, Malcolm. The tree in his hand represents when he told his soldiers to cut down Birnam wood and carry them to Dunesane to conceal their numbers. The issue with Macbeth in this scene is that he only chooses to focus on the good parts of the predictions given to him. He never thinks about the consequences that come with each prediction. For example, it says he won't be killed until Birnam wood arrives at Dunesane. When hearing this, he does not think about how the woods could get to Dunesane or his death if they do come. He simply states that it is impossible. Later on in the play, this ignorance costs him his life. To see how this ignorance and overconfidence affects Macbeth, let's take a jump to the end of the play and watch another reenacted excerpt from scenes 7 and 8 of Act 5.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born a woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none? What is thy name? Thou'lt be afraid to hear it. No, thou callest thyself a hotter name than any is in hell. My name's Macbeth. The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear. No, nor more fearful. Thou liest, abhorrent tyrant. With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest. Oh! Thou was born of woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by men that's of woman born. That way the noise is. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou be it slain with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched currents, whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with unbattered edge I sheathe again undeeded. There thou shouldst be with this great clatter, when in the greatest note seems brooded. Let me find him, fortune, and more I beg not. Why should I play Roman's fool and die on my own sword? While I see life's, the gashes do better upon them. Turn, hellhound, turn! Of all men else I have avoided thee, but I get thee back. My soul is too much charged with the blood of thine already. I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out. Thou losest labor, as easy mayest thou the entrenched air, with thy keen sword and presses make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born. Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped. Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man, and be these juggling fiends no more believed, that palter with us in double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee. Then yield, thee coward, and live to be the show in the gaze of time. We'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted on a pole, and under it, here may you see the tyrant. I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rebel's curse. Though Burnham would be come to Dunesane, and thou opposed being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that cries, Hold, enough!
Clearly, Macbeth's overconfidence proved to have great consequences. Let's take a closer look at Macbeth's downfall throughout these two scenes. The first key statement in these scenes occurs near the end of scene 7. After killing the young Siward, Macbeth states to his dead foe, "Thou wast born of woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by men that's of a woman born." This quote reveals that Macbeth still very much believes in the predictions given to him. He believes that he did not win the fight because of his skill. It was simply because he is untouchable to those born of woman. He is likely very comfortable with his current situation and probably believes that he will come out of this rebellion as king. At this point, Macbeth still does not know the consequences he will receive from his overconfidence in the apparition's predictions. Later on in scene 8, Macbeth tells Macduff confidently that he should give up because Macbeth could not be killed by anyone that was born of woman. Macduff responds with one of the most important statements of the entire play. This statement was, "To spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped." This statement flips Macbeth's world upside down. He went from feeling untouchable by man to the most vulnerable he has ever been. This is all because Macbeth was careless. He decided to forget about the advice given to him to beware of Macduff and only focus on the more convenient predictions given to him. Now he must face the consequences that come with his carelessness. Macbeth's final lines in the play shed some light on how he is feeling after all the predictions that were supposed to be impossible became possible. Macbeth's final lines go as follows. "I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rebel's curse. Though Burnham would become to Dunesane, and thou opposed being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, Hold, enough." This final speech by Macbeth is essentially him accepting his fate. He realized that his overconfidence and carelessness have led him to this situation. All the predictions and warnings have come true. He decides that he will not see another be crowned king over him, and he attacks Macduff. By doing this, he fulfills the prophecies and predictions, and he is slain. Throughout the play Macbeth, Shakespeare teaches his audience to be considerate and careful in their lives. He demonstrates through the tragic hero Macbeth the consequences that come with carelessness and overconfidence. Thank you for tuning into this week's Shakespeare Shakedown. I hope to see you next week, but until then, goodbye.